themselves. The Astros can win a series for the first time this season. So grab a really big drink and cheer on the Astros as they take on the Cubs next on My 20.
Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, My 20 brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight it's the rubber game of this three-game series. The Astros meet the Chicago Cubs. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. The Astros do have a chance to win a series for the first time this year, and they have been putting together some very good offense in recent games, JD.
How about 10-plus hits in their last 5 ball games, including 16 last night? The guys at the top of the order really getting it done. Bourne, Sanchez, Pence swinging it very well. Tonight, a guy who's looking for a little help from those bats, Wandy Rodriguez. He's pitched twice this year. The opener, or his opener in Philly, did not go so well. Last time out against the Marlins here, he pitched quite well. 7 innings, allowed just 1 run, got a no decision in the game. The Astros ultimately lost, but he's been lights out in this ballpark, as has his opponent, Carlos Zambrano. His 14 wins are the most by any pitcher active against the Astros. 8 of those 14 wins have come here at Minute Maid Park.
It's the Astros and the Cubs. We'll see who decides this series in the win column in just a moment.
Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Tell you what, it will be a wonderful day to be flying into Houston because the weather here at Minute Maid Park is outstanding. I'm down on the field again, Greg Lucas, and here are the weather conditions starting the game. 76 degrees, the humidity 63%, but you don't feel it. The humidity is very negligible, as is the wind. Blowing out toward left, though, the pitchers may not think it's so negligible. And the skies are only partly cloudy. The Astros scored 11 runs last night. This looks on paper like a much stronger pitchers duel from both sides. I say it's a toss-up. I say the guys in the pinstripe uniforms, though, have the slight advantage. Let's see what Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies think. They're going to be calling the action. They're upstairs in the booth, guys.
Well, thank you, Greg. We're just happy to think anything tonight. We're happy to be here tonight. It's just one of those gorgeous nights, as you mentioned. People up on the roof deck of Union Station. It was a thrilling day for some of the Astros players. Manager Brad Mills, who got to have lunch with former President Bush and his wife Barbara. The starting lineup for the Cubs is brought to you by Xfinity, showing you Starlin Castro at shortstop, Darwin Varney at second base, Marlon Byrd in center field, Aramis Ramirez is the cleanup man at third base. It's Jeff Baker getting the call at first base. He hits lefties well. Carlos Pena sitting it out tonight. Giovanni Soto's the catcher. In left field, it's Alfonso Soriano. Tyler Colvin, who homered last night, is in right field. It's Carlos Zambrano, a very good hitting pitcher, batting ninth.
And for the Astros, it's left-hander Wandy Rodriguez, just 4 innings short of 1,000 in his major league career. First time out in Philadelphia, second game of the season. Things did not go well for him, but last time out on Friday against the Fish of Florida, he was very, very good. Got a no decision, but allowed just the 1 run in 7 innings of work. Defensively, outfield pretty much status quo. Lee, Bourne, and Pence cover left, center, and right. A different look on the infield. Chris Johnson with the night off. Matt Downs gets a start over there at third base. Sanchez, Hall, Wallace round out the infield. J.R. Tolles back in there behind the plate. Hugh has caught, the last 3 or 4 ball games. So J.R. gets the nod tonight with Wandy on the hill.
Brad Mills back in uniform after serving his 1-game suspension last night. And it's Castro ready to get it started. Starlin on a 5-game hitting streak. Checks in with a very lofty batting average. 367 for Castro. Take strike 1. Paul Emmels, the home plate umpire. Castro has 3 runs batted in. He has 2 doubles, 2 triples, and he's tied for the major league lead with 18 hits. He rocks a line drive to center field. Michael Bourne in, and he trapped it. That's a single to center for Castro. Bourne took it on the short hop, and Castro now has a 6-game streak.
A little hesitation on Michael, but that's a tough read. Line drive hit right out to center field. This ball really smoked. And that's one you can't if you sell out, leave your feet, and come up empty. If that ball rolls by him, Castro likely circles the bases.
Now Castro with 1 steal and 1 attempt is aboard for Darwin Varney. 320 for Varney, 3 runs batted in. He looks at ball 1. Marlon Byrd on deck. Wandy Rodriguez comes off a strong outing against Florida. Giving up 1 run in 7 innings.
I guess if Brad Mills were really superstitious, he'd be in street clothes sitting in a suite somewhere tonight. Let Pedrica manage again. Al was pretty darn good, yeah.
He was
last
good.
Night.
Brad has taken a lot of joking about that, as he was in one of the suites last night with his wife Rhonda, and he said, "Hey, I got a different perspective on things." He admitted he has one of the worst views where he is in the dugout. It's really hard to see the depth of the outfielders and things of that nature, being over on the one side of the field and down low.
It is kind of weird about baseball, isn't it? Mm-hmm. The guys who have to make the decisions are not in a very good position to watch the action.
Correct. We talked about we were talking around the batting cage, Brad Mills, about the days when they used to have the eyes in the sky in the press box, and that used to be allowed, no longer allowed in Major League Baseball.
For fear of sign stealing.
Yes.
If baseball were a more ethical endeavor, guys wouldn't cheat.
Yeah.
They could have their eye in the sky. But
exactly.
There's a long history in this game of clubs trying to take advantage of such situations.
Yeah. When people compete for money, normally that happens. Barney has been a very good fit in that number 2 spot. Target is in. And he turns on it. Line drive left field. Carlos Lee in. Sliding catch for Lee. The Cubs have hung out a couple of frozen ropes. One of them's caught. Castro back to first for Marlon Byrd.
Now that rope was starting to thaw out a little bit. Not quite as sharply as Castro's, but 2 good swings to get the game started for the Cubs. First Castro, now Barney. This one hangs up just long enough where Carlos can come in and make a nice sliding catch on it.
Now one of the hottest hitters in baseball, as you see on Exmo, Carlos Lee with that play. Marlon Byrd, 9-game hitting streak for Byrd. During the 9 games, 17 hits and 37 at bats for a .459 average, up to .391 for the season. 5 for 8 in this series.
You look at the leaderboard in hits in the National League, and you see Castro, you see Byrd, Angel Sanchez right there with him. Hot hitters here early in 2011.
Cubs are 7th in runs scored in the National League. 45 runs scored in 11 games. They're 5-6. Off the leg of Marlon Byrd, it goes out to Wandy, and it's no balls, 2 strikes for the Astros left-hander.
As I mentioned, Wandy with 996 career innings pitched. When he gets to 1,000, he will be just the 2nd left-hander in Astros history to reach that mark. Bob Nepper with 1,700 plus innings pitched, and Wandy would be the 15th pitcher overall with 1,000 innings.
Where's Nepp living now? Colorado?
He's out riding the range somewhere, in Colorado. Gentleman rancher.
Well, Nepp could make pitching look easy when he was right. Foul ball back. Yeah, that slow curveball. Good sinker too, didn't he,
Yeah,
JD?
well, he had good control. When for much of his career, he was a power guy, and then he kind of learned to. When he started to lose velocity, started to sink it a little bit, and always had that nice curveball. Very nice career.
Mike Quade with the Cubs going 24-13 after he took over last season. Now begins the season as the skipper. One hopper. Wandy throws. Sanchez the middleman, and safe at first. Alertly, Wallace came off the base to take that throw, which was errant, and it's out number 2, going from 1 to 6 on Castro.
Byrd hustling down the line to beat the wrap. Wandy probably could have been a little quicker unloading this one. And Angel kind of back on his heels as he made that turn, wasn't able to get a lot on the throw.
Wallace came off, and that keeps Byrd at first base, and it gets Ramirez to the plate. 293, 1 homer, 5 runs batted in for Aramis. Aramis is the cologne. Aramis is the third baseman. And there's ball 1 to him. He's hit 294 with a homer against Wandy for his career. This one goes into center field. And the Cubs have hit some balls sharply here. That is hit number 2 of the inning, and it gets Jeff Baker to the plate.
Wandy 5-4 in his career against the Cubs with a .379 ERA. He was 1-0 last year in 3 starts against the Cubbies. All 3 of those games taking place at Wrigley Field.
Interesting. He pitched twice against the Cubs here in 2009, and both those games went very well, but they were both no decisions for Wandy. Now Baker, the former Colorado Rocky, with good early season numbers. Taking strike 1, getting the call at first base tonight with a .381 average, 1 homer, 4 runs batted in, and in his career he's hit .314 against southpaws.
Last year really wore out left-handed pitching. Mike Quade goes to Baker, gives Pena the night off. Pena's got a little bit of a sore thumb as well.
1 ball, 1 strike. Baker had a 4-hit game Friday in Milwaukee to match his career high, and that included a go-ahead 3-run homer in the 5th inning, and he drove in 4. He's hit leadoff in 4 games against lefties. Now a line drive right field corner. We'll get the Cubs on the board. Bird around to make it 1-0. The throw comes into Bill Hall and over Bill Hall, and now the Cubs take a 2-0 lead. As Hunter Pence's throw was high, Hall got his glove on it. That slowed it down, and the Cubs got Ramirez home as well on the RBI double by Baker.
Well, Mike Quade gives Baker the start against the lefty, and it pays immediate dividends for the Cubs. An off-field double. This little inside-out curvature into the right field corner. With 2 outs, runners were moving with the swing. Ramirez was likely to score anyway. Ivan DeHaze's third base coach sending him home.
Baker drives in a pair to give him 6 runs batted in.
That would be one of those plays that would be fun to replay, a what-if play. Let's make that relay throw a little bit more accurate and see, because they would have had a shot at him. I think he would have scored, but I think they would have had a shot at him.
Looked like it. Giovanni Soto at 189 has driven in 3. Now it's a 2-ball, no strike count to Soto. Wandy was faced with Ricky Nolasco of Florida last time out. Had a 2-1 lead when he left. And that got away, and he got a no decision. He lost his opener in Philadelphia against Cliff Lee, giving up 7 runs in 4 innings. But as JD mentioned, he has been so much better here at home than on the road in his career. Now struggling at home with a 3-0 count. 11 consecutive quality starts for Wandy at Minute Maid Park. That dates back to June 24th of last year. And in those games, he's 5-1 with a 1.56 ERA. Soto takes a 4-pitch walk, and now it's Soriano batting with Toles going out. At Arnsberg, hoping that Soriano makes the final out here. Wandy gets back in the dugout, and the Astros do what they did last night, go to work in the first inning.
4 well-struck balls and a walk so far for the Cubs in this inning. And a dangerous hitter in the batter's box. Not so dangerous when Wandy's on the hill.
2 for 26.
Under the 77.
Soriano fouls it back. There's strike 1 to the left fielder. Soriano 4 for 18 on this Chicago road trip with those numbers for the season. Cubs go to Colorado next. They have the day off tomorrow. They are 2-3 on this road trip so far. The Astros will be in Chicago for the first time this season at the end of May. Cubs come back here in August. Popped up, back out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. These have been beautiful nights. These 3 nights in a row here of this series. A 4-game series begins tomorrow night here. San Diego coming in. Bud Norris versus Dustin Mosley. Mosley is 0-2. Fly ball left field. That one is heading for the seats, and a 3-run homer. And the Cubs hang a 5 spot here in the first inning. Soriano ripping the 0-2 pitch for home run number 4. That gives him 10 runs batted in. 5-0 Cubs here in the first.
How about a mulligan on the first tee?
That sounds real good right now.
Cubs scored 4 in the first 2 innings of game 1 of this series. The Astros scored 5 in the first 2 innings last night, so now it's the Cubs' turn to get the jump. Looked like they were going to get in there on him with that fastball, but boy, he's awfully strong.
Five runs on 4 hits for the Cubs. Now Tyler Colvin.
Saying a lot with Soriano. When you get ahead of him, he'll chase. He's a free swinger, but you've got to go higher than high or lower than low. Bounce that curveball out in front of home plate. Throw the fastball way up or way off the plate.
Colvin hit a home run last night on a changeup. Grounded foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Has 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in for the Clemson man. A 167 average. Hitting coach of the Cubs, Rudy Jaramillo, started his career as a major league hitting coach with the Astros. He likes the work that Colvin did last night, cutting down on leg kick, and the strikeout ends the Cubs first. They get 5 on 4 hits. Soriano delivers 3 with a homer to make it Cubs 5. Astros coming up. Mound with a 5-run first. Now that's a tough bill for the Astros starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Here's the group. Michael Bourne, center field. Angel Sanchez, shortstop. Hunter Pence with a birthday today. He's 28 in right field. Carlos Lee in left field. Brett Wallace at first base. Bill Hall at second. Matt Downs is at third. J.R. Tolles the catcher for Wandy Rodriguez.
So Zambrano goes to the mound with a 5-run lead and a 9-game winning streak under his belt. You look at his career numbers: 117 wins against 74 losses, and a 3.51 ERA. 14-8 all time against the Astros. That's more wins than any other active pitcher. Defensively, Soriano struggles in left. Third, Colvin are solid. Infield of Ramirez, Castro, Barney, and Baker. Giovanni Soto is behind the plate.
Michael Bourne got it started in the first with a bunt single last night for the Astros. There's strike 1 to Michael. He's on a 7-game hitting streak right now, hitting .268, and he's driven in 3.
Aggressive here with his 5-run lead, attacking the strike zone. Strike 1, strike 2. Tries to sink his fastball, slider, straight changeup as well.
It's 1-2. He has pitched a no-hitter against the Astros among his 14 career wins. And he's the biggest winner against the Astros among active pitchers. Aaron Harang and the Padres coming in for the next series. Harang will pitch Friday night. It's 2-2 for Michael Bourne. Career ERA for Zambrano against Houston is 2.63. 193 has been the batting average against him by Houston hitters. 3-2 as Michael Bourne works that full count.
Zambrano, still just 29 years of age, came up to the big leagues at a very young age.
It's over shortstop, out toward left field. Soriano over to left center, and he catches up with it.
Another good AB by Michael, though.
Sure was. Well, Michael scored 4 runs last night. Had stolen bases on back-to-back pitches. Here's Soriano's catch. Here's another tough out recently. Angel Sanchez. .395 his batting average. That's 5th in the National League. He has a homer and 8 driven in. And there's ball 1 to him. Fits very well in that number 2 spot in the lineup behind Michael Bourne. 1 ball, 1 strike on this homestand. Angel is 10 for 22 with a homer and 5 runs driven in. One ball, 2 strikes. Last night he had a 4-hit game, tying his career high, and he now has 17 hits this season.
So the game plan here for Zambrano is establish fastball early, one after another. Pretty good movement on it too. 2-seamer with a little sink.
Two balls and 2 strikes. That pitch went up at 92 miles per hour.
Yeah, it took him a little while to get cooking. The first couple of fastballs were 86, 87. Took to see him up in that low 90s range.
Out 3-2 on both of the first 2 hitters. Zambrano will turn 30 on the 1st of June. He gets a foul tip strikeout. 2 outs for Zambrano.
Comes back with the fastball and busts it over the outside edge. That's a great pitch because it's too close for Angel to lay off of it. So he has to be willing to offer it that one. Make it. He's a pretty good chance he's going to get rung up.
Hunter Pence on his 28th birthday is coming off a 4 RBI game last night. Strike 1 to Hunter. 326, 1 homer, 9 driven in for Hunter. This fly ball goes to center. Marlon Byrd back a few steps and on the warning track. He makes it a 1-2-3 first for Zambrano and a 5-0 Cubs lead. Pitcher Carlos Zambrano leads it off. Normally it's a good idea for an opposing pitcher to be leading off the inning if you're throwing to him, but not in this case. This guy can really swing the bat, and he takes ball 1. He is 2 for 5 this season. Glittering career credentials. He rips that one foul on a line.
Has the franchise record for home runs by a pitcher. And the most home runs in Major League Baseball since Bob Gibson retired.
Up the middle, deflected out to shortstop, barehanded. Sanchez throws and gets him. 21 career homers for Zambrano and a .237 average. Hit that one back through the box. Wandy deflected it. It's a 1-6-3 play.
Has to slam on the brakes a little bit to handle that deflection.
That's one out. Now it's Castro. He'll take a little extra time so Zambrano can get back to the bench. The most runs scored against Wandy Rodriguez in the first inning of the game came August 14th of 2009 when he gave up 8 against Milwaukee.
Now this is where you got to be mentally tough, because you get to pitch every 5 days as a starting pitcher in this league, and you get all jacked up for that start. And when this happens to you in the first inning, it'd be very easy to get deflated, but you can't afford to have that happen. Your club's been swinging the bats well lately. You have to work hard, string some zeros, and hope your club can get back in the game.
It's 2 balls and a strike.
The guy that always comes to mind when we talk like this is Jack Morris. That's the reputation he earned in his career. He might score a couple runs off early, but he would hang in there and battle you. You never know which run is going to beat you. Number 1, is it number 6? Who knows?
That 8-run inning in the first came against Milwaukee in 09, August 14th. Little tap goes out the second. Bill Hall. This is the biggest first inning he's allowed since then. But he comes back to get out number 2 on the 3-1 pitch.
Yeah, if you want to be really optimistic, you could argue, well, if you're going to give up 5 in an inning, do it in the first. Let the boys know what kind of a hill they have to climb.
Right.
You give up that 5 spot in the 6th inning, and that's awfully tough. You don't have that many at-bats to play with.
Well, both these clubs have set that pattern in games they've won in this series. Cubs got 2 in the first and 2 in the second Monday, winning 5-4. Last night the Astros got 3 in the first and 2 in the second and won 11-2. Strike to Darwin Barney. He lined to left.
And just in terms of pure percentages, I would guess the team that jumps out to a 5-0 lead after the first inning wins about 94% of the time.
That sounds about right.
See some similarities there? Brett Wallace and Darwin Barney.
Well, our director does, Paul Bykowski.
I get it.
That'll be foul and out of play. The count remaining, no balls, 2 strikes. Brett Wallace, Chris Johnson, some of the other Astros players, Mark Melanson, and manager Brad Mills had lunch today with the 2 folks sitting right behind home plate, George and Barbara Bush. Special treat, and for something like 15 years the Bushes have hosted small Astros groups for lunch at their place early in the season before they head for Maine. Very, very nice of them. Everybody really thrilled to get that invitation. Check swing call. It's 2-2. And Brad Mills said well, he just enjoyed asking questions about leadership and mentors for President Bush, who told him Ronald Reagan was a mentor. And he got a specially autographed ball from the president with the presidential seal. There aren't many of those around.
Did he ask him about his playing days at Yale?
He didn't say that he did. Brad was asked if he has books on leadership. He does. That's a liner to right field. A 2-out single for Darwin Barney. So he's hit a couple of line drives in this game. And he's aboard for Marlon Byrd.
Cubs some very good swings at Wandy here. A couple of the outs well struck. Barney's line drive in the first, then Brown hit the ball hard to lead off this inning.
Byrd reached on that force play. Byrd, along with Jeff Baker and Giovanni Soto, are in the top 3 in the National League in batting average against lefties from the start of last season up to tonight. Strike 1. Cubs are 3-1 against lefties so far this season. Lefty starters, that is.
Nice night over there on top of Union Station to take in the action. Red shirts have the blue shirts far outnumbered.
Strike makes it 0-2.
Stratego fan club up there. Remember that game, Stratego?
No. No. Where was that?
Yeah, it was just military little pieces.
Oh, okay.
As a general and the spy and the bomb moved around the board.
See that. Monopoly still big?
Well, I suppose in some circles.
Some ancient circles, probably. No balls, 2 strikes. Foul away. It's online games. Can you play a Monopoly online, JD?
I would imagine. I've never tried, but I imagine you can. Monopoly was one of those games that you always. It sounded like a good idea when you got started, and then like 8 hours later, it was like, really?
Mm-hmm.
And then you always had to fight over who wanted to be the banker, who got to be the shoe. It was pretty rough at my house when I was a kid.
Everybody tried to get Park Place first. Over shortstop, Sanchez though backs and makes the catch. It's no runs a hit and the man left. It's 5-0 Cubs in the second. Spectacular weather here. The Cubs, though, made it a little less enjoyable with that 5-run first. Now it's Lee, Wallace, and Hall in the bottom of the second inning for the Astros, who went down 1-2-3 against Zambrano in the first. Carlos Lee first up in this inning. He gets strike one. Carlos has a .379 career average with 5 homers against Zambrano. .200 his average this season. He's driven in 6.
He's very good against his namesakes. He was very good against Cliff Lee.
Oh.
And he's also very good against Carlos Zambrano. He wants to own that name.
Zambrano was up with that pitch, 2-1. Well, you mentioned Zambrano's excellent record here at Minute Maid Park, 8-4. The Cubs are 47-46 in this ballpark.
It'll be interesting to keep an eye on Zambrano this year. Last year, such a tumultuous year for him. If you recall, he had some issues and went into anger management for a while, was away from the ball club. When he came back, he pitched very well.
2-hopper, Castro to his right. Yes, he did.
He's one of those guys who's always pitched with a lot of emotion, and when he's been able to harness it, he's put it to good use. But at times, he's letting it get the best of him in the way he responds to situations both on and off the field. A lot of dugout skirmishes, little innings sometimes blow up on him. That was kind of the book on him early in his career. You know, he's got great stuff and he's a good pitcher, but if you can get to him, you know, he's going to give you a chance to give you one big inning.
Brett Wallace on a 5-game hitting streak will be followed by Bill Hall. Zambrano missing, goes to ball 1. Wallace, a .250 hitter with a homer, has 5 runs batted in. Fred came in to play a little first base late in the game last night. A strike makes it 1-1. Carlos Lee got the start last night against the lefty James Wells. The Cubs are mulling over keeping Wells in the rotation, but they have an off day. It's 1-2, so they have time to make that decision, and they have signed a couple of veterans the last few days. Ramon Ortiz, who's 38, signed a minor league deal, and Doug Davis, who's 35, just signed a minor league deal with the Cubs.
Heads up. Ramon Ortiz, where was he last in the big leagues?
We'll have to check. Davis was with Milwaukee last year.
Davis was Milwaukee, then Arizona, then back to Milwaukee.
And he had some heart issues.
Yeah.
And he's got to pretty much start from scratch right now with a conditioning program, so it'll take a while for him to be ready. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Ramon Ortiz, I'll pull him up here. He was a Dodger last year for a little bit.
Okay.
That was the first he pitched in the big league since 2007.
Wallace takes a close one, and it's 3-2. This is the third 3-2 count for Zambrano, and he had a 3-1.
Wallace thinks it's ball 4.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Confusion there.
You see the pattern. Zambrano threw 112 pitches in 6 innings last time out, and a 7-4 win at Milwaukee Friday.
Throw him number 2 again.
That is ball 4.
That's where he started him. Zambrano threw the first pitch of that sequence pretty much right there in that same spot, and he looked in at Emil and asked with his glove, is that ball inside? And Emil threw his hands up in the air just to say, of course it is.
Always nice to have that dialogue going.
So it's frustrating for a pitcher because hitters can lobby and talk to the umpire all night long back there, but as a pitcher, if you do anything at all to question it just puts you down a bad road.
Yes, it does. Bill Hall, 231, 1 homer, 3 runs batted in, comes up. Looks at ball 1. 7-game hitting streak for Bill Hall right now. 8 for 24. He and Michael Bourne are both on 7-game streaks, the longest by an Astro this year. They've only played 11 games, and they're 3-8. That's up, and it's 2-0. Yeah, Zambrano has had this reputation of being very keyed up, especially early in a game. So he's had his share of bad first innings himself. Kind of the book on him is he's vulnerable in the first. If you can rattle him a little bit, he might put up a crooked number. Fly ball goes to right field. Colvin underneath. And just on the warning track, he handles out number 2. Now it's Matt Downs. Matt has had some nice games so far in the early going. In fact, he's driven in runs in 3 games in a row now. Came up with an RBI pinch single on Monday. 333 with 3 runs batted in for Matt Downs with just a few at bats. He's only had 9. But he had that game winner in Cincinnati on Thursday with 2 outs in the 9th inning. This is his second start. Fouls it back. Chris Johnson got hit by a pitch just above the left elbow last night, and there's some swelling in that area, and so he's sitting this one out. He's trying to bend that. That's what he was saying before the game. He can't bend it all the way. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, you think about this being April 13th. Chris Johnson's been hit 3 times. Just fast forward to September. Just imagine how somebody might feel after, being hit by pitches and just, the various things that can happen, fouling balls off that come up, and all bumps and bruises that accumulate in a 6-month period.
Of course, it's better than the alternative. Better than not being out there getting beat up on a daily basis.
I thought you meant not being here. Being home. 2-2.
Oh, that too, yeah. It's the old line, right? Man, I'm getting old. Well, it's better than the alternative.
Yeah. Wonder if that little guy we saw last night drinking all the whatever it was he was drinking is back for more. There's a shot into the left field corner. Downs headed for second base. Here's Wallace coming to third. Dave Clark's going to wave him home. Castro with a relay to the plate and the tag. He's out. Castro put it right on target for the tag to Soto. A 7-6-2 play as Downs gets a double, but Wallace is gunned down, and it's 5-0 Cubs.
Clark sending Brett Wallace home, but two very good throws by the Cubs. They're able to get their man at home plate. Really well done here by the Cubs. A couple things to consider as Dave Clark's taking a good long look into that corner, and it's pretty tough to see into that corner from where Dave is, and he can't go further out into the field of play, or he's going to draw a charge on Brett Wallace. Soriano has a reputation of not being a particularly good outfielder, so he's the kind of guy you're going to try to take an extra base on. You're down at the bottom of your order. If you don't send him, this one dropped in for a knock for Ramirez. If you stay put there at third base, maybe Zambrano pitches around Tolles, and then you got Wandy coming up. So sometimes you just go and you force the other club to make a good play, and in this instance they did. In particular, the throw from Castro. I mean, Soriano did his part is getting it into Castro, and then Castro made a big, strong throw home. Generally, when you're down 5, you think about being cautious. But for the reasons that I explained, you can understand what Dave Clark, why he did it, where they were in the batting order, who the left fielder was, and who the cameraman was, because we knew Frank was going to get a great shot at that from way up there.
Frank's all over it. And down the right field line. Jeff Baker fouled that one. He has a 2-run double to right field. Right underneath Frank, his first time up.
And lost in all that was another really good swing of the bat by Matt Downs.
Yeah.
It looked impressive. Limited action, but so far looked pretty good.
Poke to right field. That's in for a hit for Baker. Both of his hits have gone the other way, and he's 2 for 2 in this game. 2 men on, nobody out.
Brett Myers gave the Astros 7 innings last night, so just 2 relievers used, an inning from Filchino and an inning from Anuri Rodriguez. And we'll see if the Astros start to get action up there in that bullpen.
This will be the 50th pitch coming from Wandy.
It's kind of, you know, you're at that stage of the game now. If you're Brad Mills and Brad Arnsberg, you're hoping to get Wandy pointed in the right direction, because if Wandy figures it out, he's still your best option. But at some point, if he continues to give up hits, you come to the realization, oh, tonight's just not his night.
That's strike one. Soto drew a walk and scored in the first inning on the 3-run homer by Soriano. 35 of the 50 pitches have been strikes. Liner up the middle into center field. Ramirez to third. Stop sign there from Ivan De Jesus. And the bases are loaded on consecutive singles.
The Cubs just with an outstanding game plan tonight. And you talked about Wandy throwing a high percentage of pitches for strikes, but just probably, he would tell you, he's just catching too much of the plate with both the fastball and the breaking ball. Cubs sprang it around this inning. A single to left, one to right, and now this line drive to center off the bat of Soto, and up comes Soriano, who hit the 3-run jack in the first.
Soriano, the former Yankee and Ranger and Washington National, has been a very good power hitter in his career. Numbers have dropped off last few seasons. Fouls that one for strike one. And Soriano, with that home run, is 21st against the Astros in his career. Really giving his starting pitcher a lot of breathing room. Cubs have hit 9 long balls. This is game number 12 for them. Soriano's 35 years old now. He had 24 homers last year. Infield in, smash. Runs to a plate. Toles gets the force on the first. Double play. 5-2-3 double play.
Boy, nice play by Matt Downs. Maybe a step behind the bag. Any number of ways he could have gone with that one. He could have tried for a triple play. One step to the bag. That's when you see that guy streaking for a home, that kind of gets your attention.
Right.
But that would have been fun.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see that. The whole key would have been where the runner was between first and second, whether he would have been able to upend Bill Hall there. I think they would have had a shot at Soriano.
Strike one to Tyler Colvin. Rudy Jaramillo was saying that Tyler abandoned the leg kick last night, and he got that great result with a home run and then a double the last 2 times to the plate. We're talking about that leg kick. Let's look at the double play.
Yeah, because it takes him towards the bag. Yeah, might have been tough to make that turn at second.
Yep.
You're down 5 already. You got to make sure you nail that guy home.
That's the important one. Absolutely. 3-0. We were talking about leg kicks for hitters, and I asked Rudy Jaramillo, well, is that a problem with the eye level? He said, well, yeah, the eye level changes quite a bit. Leg kick.
So he's anti-leg kick?
Not anti, but he said, you know, the quieter you are, the better hitter usually you're going to be. There are exceptions. He certainly doesn't encourage it, but if somebody wants to use it, it's just a matter of really working. But we then talk about Pujols. Albert Pujols hardly lifts his leg at all. You know, a lot of the great hitters just really, really quiet.
Yeah, the guys that are so quick and so strong have such good hands, they don't need that load that you get from the leg kick. Some guys just use it as a timing mechanism.
And that's what he pointed out. He said, you know, a lot of young guys want to load up now. And that's what they think they're doing, is getting their legs into it. He said sometimes we'll take a guy who doesn't have the lower body into his swing and add a leg kick for that reason, but really not necessary. That's foul, first base. You know, it's fascinating to talk to a hitting coach if he can dumb it down, so to speak, to our level and really get into the vernacular, because the hitter's vernacular is totally different. What do we have going there? A little robotic. Might be some damage from that foul ball. But you know, he pointed out there are some similarities to the golf swing, the baseball swing, and a check swing for a strikeout. Well, bases loaded, nobody out. Wandy gets a double play and a strikeout, and it's 5-0 Cubs.
During the series against the Reds and the Marlins, for every run the Astros scored, everyone was going to receive $2 off field box tickets for the game against the Padres this Saturday. Now, these are field box tickets, and that's a pretty good deal. The Astros reached maximum runs. The tickets are now only $11. It's Astros.com.
We think that there's a microphone problem with Greg Lucas's mic, so we're going to attend to that. But there you see it, the $11 field box tickets.
That's for this Saturday's game with the Padres. Pretty good deal. Astros.com/runs for tickets and info. Pods in town for the weekend.
J.R. Tolles takes, and it's ball 1 to J.R. He's hit in all 4 of his starts this season. 375, 1 homer, 2 runs batted in for J.R. So it's a 4-game hitting streak. And he lines one to make it a 5-game streak. Hit number 2 for the Astros. J.R. got around on it to get it over Aramis Ramirez.
Zambrano throws a lot of fastballs that move in towards right-handed hitters. J.R. is awfully quick in there. He doesn't exactly barrel this one up, but he got enough of it.
Yes, he did with those quick hands. Wandy Rodriguez is 0 for 4 around a bunt. Pushes this one out in front of the plate. Soto takes the out at first. Sacrifice going from 2 to 3.
The Astros still in this game because Wandy was able to get out of that bases loaded jam in the top half of the inning, but they got to start taking advantage of opportunities. Scratch out a run here and there, and they're right back in the game.
Here's one of those opportunities. Michael Bourne, the runner in scoring position. Michael worked the count full, hit a fly ball to left. The Astros are hitting .302 with runners in scoring position. Fly ball out towards center. Marlon Byrd with the catch. 2 outs.
So I don't know if Greg's got a trivia question for us tonight or not, but I've got a bonus one to throw out right now.
All right, what do you have?
There are only 2 pitchers in history from Venezuela to win more games than Carlos Zambrano.
Ooh.
That's the category. The Jeopardy category is pitchers from Venezuela.
That's a good one. Sanchez struck out first time up. There's ball 1. Well, there have been so many from the Dominican, of course.
These pitchers are both still active.
Ooh.
Although at least one of them is disabled. We'll get to it in the next inning.
Liner to Baker, a 6-pitch inning, and it's no runs a hit and a man left after 3, 5-0 Cubs. I don't know. I don't have anything.
That's a Aroldis Chapman. Uh-oh, Aroldis Chapman might be hurt.
Oh, that could be big. A little bitty. This date in Astros history is brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center, making cancer history. April 13th, 2007, Roy Oswalt gets number 100, beating the Phillies 9-6. A grand slam and 3 total homers by Carlos Lee. Carlos Zambrano, 5-0 Cubs. Takes strike one. He grounded off the glove of Wandy. Back to the shortstop, Angel Sanchez, for a 1-6-3 play in the second inning.
Got to make sure you don't get careless here with Zambrano. He's dangerous. All right, time's up on the trivia.
What do you have for us?
Only 2 pitchers from Venezuela to win more games than the man in the batter's box right now. Freddie Garcia, Johan Santana.
Good question. Greg Lucas is here with us, and we're trying to get his microphone adjusted. And are you back, Greg?
I think I'm back. Our crack audio guys came down here and changed a wire.
That's great. That's quick work. Didn't have to outsource it or anything.
No. But I was safe. You know, I still got that backup wireless thing down there. So.
Okay. Now, what about your temperature gauge? Do you have that down there?
I do. And, you know, the great thing about that temperature gauge is it's made in USA, and it's a little cheap thing, and it was exactly the same as what we showed you officially.
Oh. That's a strikeout for Zambrano. And it's number 3 for Wandy. So the temperature is probably what, about?
Well, that's right at about 78 degrees, and that's right what it says. And this thing was really cheap and broken, but it's made in USA. Good stuff.
Liner to left. Carlos Lee comes in.
It's Greg's eye thermometer.
Yes, it is.
It's got the latest app.
Yeah, well, hey.
Castro retired. Now it's Barney coming out. Barney is lined out to left and gotten a line drive single to right.
Bet your app wasn't made in USA.
Toronto beat Seattle 8-3 today.
Kyle Drabek pitched another good game for Toronto. He did not get the win in that game, but he pitched well.
He's done really well out of the gate for them. Jose Bautista hit his 3rd homer. Barney takes ball 1 with Marlon Byrd on deck. It's Florida 5, Atlanta nothing. They've played 7 in Atlanta. Logan Morrison hit his 3rd home run.
Boy, he's a good-looking young hitter.
He sure is. And he made some nice plays in left field for a converted first baseman. Incidentally, there are some stories now coming out. Some of the Marlins players anonymously are admitting that, yeah, they tried to hit Bill Hall with a pitch. The pitcher who did it, Mujica, did not admit it. 3 balls and a strike. And we're hearing that Anuri Rodriguez might get the hearing on his appeal of his 3-game suspension when the Astros go to New York next week.
Well, the other thing you could do is pitch Anuri like 3 days in a row, 3 innings each day, and then just, okay, we'll take the suspension now and just shut him down for 3 days and let him rest up.
What else is going on? Dan Herron had a 1-hitter over the Indians last night. Francisco Liriano, awful after that loss today. Josh Hamilton threw his third base coach under the bus, Dave Anderson, for sending him home, and a broken arm on that headfirst slide. And the Red Sox 2-9 of the worst ERA, 6.87.
Postponed tonight due to rain in Boston, so it's a good night for the Sox.
Boy. Fly ball, right center field. Hunter Pence tracking it and making the grab for a scoreless Cubs 4th. And now Wandy has put up 3 zeros in a row, hoping for some offense with the score 5-0 Cubs. It's 5-0 Cubs. Bottom of the 4th inning. Hunter Pence with his 28th birthday today hit a fly ball to center his first time up, and he takes ball 1 from Carlos Zambrano. Let's see who else might have a birthday today. Davis Love the 3rd. Tony Dow.
And Jerry Mathers as the leader. Don Adams, Maxwell Smart. And the final guy, Alfred Butts. You know what he did?
No.
He invented Scrabble. We were talking about board games earlier.
Really?
Yeah,
1899?
Yeah, he was well, he was born in 1899.
Okay.
He invented Scrabble during the Depression. He was an architect, unemployed architect, and invented Scrabble.
Interesting. I wonder if they had enough money to afford a game of Scrabble during the Depression. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Those were tough times.
That was the Words with Friends of its time. People used to carry boards around.
Swing and a miss and a strikeout. Zambrano gets his 2nd of the night. Number 1 guys used to carry slide rules to school. Time now for our Doing More in Defense feature, brought to you by the Home Depot. Carlos Lee comes up with a sliding catch in left field on a line drive.
Second batter of the game after Castro had singled. Barney bid for a base hit, and Carlos said, "No, No suit for you.
Strike one to Carlos Lee. Yeah, back in the day, JD, you were too young to participate in this, but guys used to bring their slide rules to school.
Really?
Yeah, they used to hang them off their belt. I'll bet Greg remembers that.
I never learned how to use it, though.
No, but you could walk around with it and look pretty cool. Popped up. Coming in, Ramirez, and Castro's there. Castro has it. 2 outs. Now it'll be Brett Wallace. Wallace drew a walk in the 2nd inning. Last night, the Astros were 9 for 20 with runners in scoring position. And,
that's way above average.
Yeah. A lot of the guys traced it back to the rally they had late in the game on Monday night. They trailed 5-0 and came back to lose 5-4. Well, again, they're down 5-0. And there's ball 1 to Wallace. So coming into this game, the Astros are hitting .339 on this homestand in 5 games. Offense is certainly perked up. 1 ball, 1 strike, and they were 4th in the league in runs scored with 50 runs in their first 11 games. Pretty nice pace.
Very nice. This young man here, Wallace, boy, he's got a quick bat.
Did you see something with his last swing that clued you in, or you just?
No, he just does. He did. I like watching him swing. I mean, he's had some problems handling that inside fastball, and I think it's a matter of maybe moving off the plate a little bit. I know they've talked about that. They've done that a little bit, making some adjustments. And I think it's just mostly it's going to be experience and getting a sense of how he's being pitched, what he needs to swing at, and what he can lay off of. I just love the way his bat comes through the zone. They've been working a little bit with the path of his swing. Keeps that front shoulder tucked in, and sometimes, when talking to Brad Mills the other day, Mills was saying sometimes that shoulder is a little too low. And then he has to see how it rotates up as opposed to staying on plane and driving down through the ball.
Strike 3 call. Zambrano gets number 3, and through 4 he's rolling. 5-0 Cubs.
.com at Bat11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Astros.com for details. Wave and Margin, the truck, use it, and because they do, they just discovered that Josh Johnson, who had a no-hitter to the bottom of the 8th, lost it on a hit by Freddie Freeman, a double. But that's because they had the procedure.
Thank you. Well, I've had procedures too, but that didn't allow me to find out about no-hitters. Okay, there you have it. 5-0 Florida. Josh Johnson had a no-hitter through 7. And we have strike 1 on Aramis Ramirez. He's 2 for 2.
Yeah, the Astros were fortunate to miss Josh Johnson when the Marlins were in town, but he's one of the best in the business. Led the league in ERA last year.
Kerry Wood is warming up in the Cubs bullpen. That's a pop-up foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Detroit beat Texas with a run in the 9th today, 3-2. Jose Valverde won it. Oh.
Now Ramirez got that big finish last night. He hit Q in the coconut with that follow through.
Yeah, he's going to be the enemy of all catchers with that long follow through. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Aramis Ramirez. Knocked that mitt right off his left hand with that follow through.
We're going to change him up here. Straight change. Good pitch.
He punches it on a line to Brett Wallace. So Ramirez, who was 2 for 2, is out number 1. And Wandy has been his own long reliever in this game. Trailing 5-0. He gave up 3 consecutive singles to open the 3rd. Then got a double play and a strikeout. And that could be big.
Yeah, you know, hanging in there. It's a big part of it. Sometimes you go out there, you're real crisp, have your best stuff, and you cruise through and have a nice clean game. Other times you struggle early. You got to hang in there.
Slow roller. Sanchez gets Jeff Baker. 2 outs. Well, right now, a couple of things have happened. First of all, Brad Mills didn't have to go to his bullpen super early in the game. Secondly, Wandy's been able to figure some things out that he, at the very least, could be able to take into his next start with a little better feeling than what he had after the 1st inning anyway.
Well, he's due up 4th in the bottom half of the 5th, so if the Astros have something going, he will likely come out of the ball game for a pinch hitter. But you know, if that is the case, if he gets through this inning, he can feel pretty good about the way he battled back. It's a consolation prize, but it's something. It's like miscongeniality. You didn't win the pageant, but at least you did something good.
Soto has walked and scored. He's also singled. Cubs are at home quite a bit in the first 2 months. Wandy misses. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. They have only 3 road trips in all of April and May. And they'll play 33 of their first 56 games through June 1st at Wrigley Field. 59%.
So that means if they're in the hunt late in the year, they're going to have to do a lot of winning on the road.
Sure does. 19 of their final 31 are on the road. Line shot. Fielded behind second. No, it isn't. Bill Hall couldn't corral it. Wandy swiped at it, and Soto winds up with a hit up the middle.
Wandy get a piece of that?
I think he did.
He must have. That ball was hit really well.
I think he put some spin on it with that deflection. No, he didn't.
How did that ball stay? I guess it just had all kinds of funky spin on it.
It looked like it. Foxmo shows you that Hall took that one on the left wrist. Single for Soto. He's 2 for 2 with a walk, and now it's Soriano batting. Looking at ball 1.
It's funny how this game goes, though. When you give up a big number early, you have to be not perfect, but you got to post zeros from that point on. And 1 swing of the bat here from Soriano, and all that good stuff we just said goes out the window. Now it becomes just another 7-run outing.
Rips that foul ball off the railing, and it's 1-1 now. Let's see. You probably didn't see this afternoon, JD, but the Cubs had their pitchers out. It's kind of fun what they were doing. They were running wind sprints, but they didn't know it because they were throwing baseballs to them. They're trying to make over-the-shoulder catches, and they were running and turning, and then the pitching coach would throw that ball out there to lead them. It's kind of a fun way to get your running work in.
Yeah, we used to do that. Run pass patterns.
Right.
And sometimes you go out and get a coach and hit your fungos, and you just run from one corner to the other.
Coors Light Cold Hard Blast will show you the 3-run homer from Soriano.
On an 0-2 pitch, they were trying to come up and in on him. was up and a little bit in, but not up enough, not in enough. Ultimately out.
And a strikeout this time keeps the score at 5-0 Cubs in the fifth. They had 4 hits in that first. Now the Astros come up against Carlos Zambrano. They've been held to 2 hits and 1 walk through 4. It'll be Hall, Downs, and Tolles in the Houston fifth. Hall hit a fly ball to right first time up. This is a line drive to left center. Hall running hard to first, takes the turn, fielded cleanly by Marlon Byrd, and he gets it back in, with Hall taking his hitting streak to 8 games.
Third hit of the night for the Astros. Second time they've had a leadoff man reach. Tolles singled in the 3rd inning, was sacrificed the second by Wandy. They failed to get him home.
Hall is on. Now it's Downs, who thumped a double to left field. Wallace was thrown out trying to score on that double. Roll to the left side. Castro, spectacular play. Gets the out call at second.
He might have cheated a little bit there.
He might have. Looked like Barney was stretching towards center field and may not have kept his foot on the base, but Gary Darling gave the out call.
You know, I think umpires let middle infielders cheat a lot out there at second base, but when the throw is errant, they should make sure they stay on the bag. It's one thing if the throw is right on the money and the guy straddles the bag or slides off the bag, but when it's an errant throw and pulls the guy off the base. Pretty play by Castro.
It was.
And boy, that's close. And Barney, if he had to do it all over again, excuse me, just stay on the bag and make sure you don't put the umpire in a position to have to make that call. He's not going to turn 2 there.
Right.
With that throw. But it looks like that's what he had in mind as he came off the bag. Like he thought maybe he would be able to make a pivot. But there ain't no chance. Just stay on the bag, get the force, and get out of Dodge.
That was a good play by Castro. Fernando Abad, the lefty, is warming up for the Astros. J.R. Tolles, the batter. He singled to left in the 3rd inning. And Zambrano threw a pitch that crowded him. Inglet on deck. Ball 1. Now, Rudy Jaramillo was telling me today before the game, one thing hitters do not want to do is get jammed on that fastball inside. They all talk about it. But JR got around.
And that's why after you tie a guy up inside, you go soft away because he doesn't want to get beat in there again. So he's thinking about being quick. Guys would rather take a mighty swing and miss than get jammed and look feeble.
That's right. 2 balls, 1 strike.
That big swing and miss is full of potential. It's full of what if. If I'd gotten a hold of that, I would hit that ball 500 feet. You're lucky you got away with it. But when you get jammed, there's nothing there but humiliation for the batsman.
Oh, off the leg of Tolles. He goes down and he's rolling over. It's like the left shin area is reaching down. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The sinker moving in on him, and then he just hammers it off his top of his foot or his shin.
Oh,
goodness.
Zambrano stuff. That happens often on right-handed batters. Way outside and stopped by Soto on ball 3. Takes the count full, but prevents Downs from advancing.
One way to take care of that sore foot is to hit it out of the ballpark so you can just jog around the bases.
It would feel better immediately. Kansas City beat Minnesota today 10-5. JR fouls it. Rudy Jaramillo said fastballs in and cutters in are the 2 things that hitters talk about all the time. Very, very conscious of not wanting to get jammed on those pitches. Foul back.
He's still hurting. Pretty gutsy at bat. He's got to be in a lot of pain. The way he hopped after that swing.
Hard to
maintain your concentration.
Exactly. Put the weight on that foot. Pattern all over the place. And it works for Zambrano's strikeout, number 3. Now pinch hitter Joe Inglet comes up for Wandy Rodriguez.
Going back to his money pitch, that sinker, and he's had a good one tonight. He really hasn't thrown that many breaking balls or changeup. There's been a lot of fastballs, showing some variety with it. The sinker, and then trying to four-seamer, maybe even cut it a little bit away from the right-handed hitters.
Joe Inglet, the pinch hitter for Wandy Rodriguez, comes up with 2 outs and a runner at first. Downs. Joe is 1 for 10. 0 for 5 pinch hitting. Strike 1. And Wandy Rodriguez 5 innings. He allowed the Cubs 9 hits, 5 runs. He walked 2 and fanned 4. Inglet hits one in the air to right. Colvin backing. In the 5th, it's no runs a hit and a man left. After 5, it's 5-0 Cubs.
Friday's a special night. Help the Astros commemorate Jackie Robinson night with a 7:05 game against the Padres. Now, the first 10,000 fans will receive a Jackie Robinson T-shirt presented by Chevrolet, and all players and personnel will wear Jackie's number 42. Visit Astros.com/Jackie for a special ticket order. And study your pictures of the players so you know which one is which.
Yeah.
It's a special night. We have one every year. There's a Bod. He's a new pitcher, Brownie.
Fernando 1-1 with a 4.15 ERA, giving the Astros a second straight lefty in this game. He is the lefty in the bullpen. With those 5 appearances so far, the most recent one Monday night in the 5-4 loss for the Astros, he worked a hitless inning.
Well, the Cubs have a left-handed batter leading things off here in Tyler Colvin. Bod gets first crack out of the Astros pen after Wandy hung in there, did what he needed to do after that 5-run first. Strung some zeros, and the Astros have a fighting chance.
Left-handed hitters are 4 for 11 against Bod. He's 25 years old. Throwing the fastball in to Colvin, who has struck out both times. Ball 1. Wandy had not given up a homer in either of his first 2 starts. He surrendered the 3-run shot in the first inning tonight to Soriano, throwing 86 pitches. It's 1-1. Came into this game with an 0-1 record, a 6.55 ERA. That'll hang for a while. Michael Bourne over to his right. 1 out. That was fun last night with Kevin Bass standing out there in the ConocoPhillips pump area, yelling down at Michael Bourne, as Michael Bourne used to do in the Astrodome when Kevin Bass was playing the outfield. And they finally got to beat. Carlos Zambrano looks at the breaking ball, takes a swing at it, and it's foul for strike 1. He is whiffed both times tonight.
I wonder if Michael, when he was yelling at KB back in the day, was yelling, "It's me, it's Michael Bourne. I'm going to be playing center field someday in this town."
He might have.
Ooh, good try.
1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies are shutting out Washington 3-0 in the bottom of the 9th at Washington, with Roy Halladay going for the complete game. High to center field. Watch this one fly. That's a long drive for Zambrano, and he has hit another home run. Number 22 of his career.
Seems like he's got about half of those against the Astros. Probably 4 or 5 anyway.
Yeah, we're going to have to check on that.
A big old swing from a big man. There's a leg kick. There's some load. Load and launch from Big Z. That's why the Cubs have used him as a pinch hitter over the years when he's not pitching, because he can do that.
6-0 Chicago. Starlin Castro is 1 for 3. Fouls that one, strike 1. 2 home runs for the Cubs tonight. Zambrano with 22 in his career.
I mentioned earlier, it's the most in Cubs franchise history, and the most since Bob Gibson retired in the mid-70s. And Gibby had 24. I'm not sure what the all-time mark is for a pitcher. We'll work on that for you.
Okay.
Not counting Babe Ruth.
Wes Farrell was a very good hitter. I don't know how many he hit.
See how they treated Zambrano in the dugout after that big home run. Dropped a little silent treatment on him. Rudy gave him a high five, but everybody else is just kind of playing it stone cold. There he goes. He's done the fan. And then finally they come over. Gets him every time. One of these days somebody's going to put some bubble gum on the top of somebody's helmet.
Never happened. No, that's not worked in the past. Line drive, right center field. Castro has his second hit, takes the turn. And the Cubs are back on the beam at the plate in this game.
2 knocks and a line out for Castro tonight. Brought a .367 batting average into the game. Here's Zambrano at Minute Maid Park. Yeah, 5 home runs in this ballpark alone.
He hit one in Chicago off Woody Williams in 07. We're checking back to see how many total homers he has against the Astros. Barney looks at that one, ball 1. Abad delivers a strike. It's 1-1 with Marlon Byrd on deck. Zambrano now has 3 hits this season in 8 at bats.
According to my research, Wes Farrell is first with 38 career home runs.
Okay. 38.
Bob Lemon. Didn't realize he was that good of a hitter. He had 37. Red Ruffin. Warren Spahn. I knew Spahn was a good hitter.
Fly ball left field toward the corner. Carlos Lee coming over. And as he runs, he gets there and tracks it down for the catch. Here's the retreat to first base by Castro. He was all the way at second. He was standing on second when Carlos made the catch. But he got back, 2 outs. Very aggressive base running by Castro.
Well, now they're calling him out at second base. He must have rounded the bag and not re-tagged.
Oh, too aggressive apparently.
He didn't retouch.
So it's a double play. We'll take a look at it as Castro has stepped on second. Yeah, he did not retouch. So that's the 3rd out, and it's 6-0 Chicago.
But did he go beyond the bag?
Six nothing Chicago. And the Astros come up. Michael Bourne taking the high pitch here in the home 6th inning for ball 1. Michael's 0 for 2 in this game. Carlos Zambrano has hit 6 career homers against the Astros, 5 at Minute Maid Park of his total of 22. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Make it 3-0.
Pitched quite well here also, so it's kind of a home away from home for him. Let's take a look back at that play that ended the top half of the inning. Castro called out for not retouching second. I'm not sure that he ever touched it to begin with.
He might not have.
In that instance, he's fine. You know, ideally you go and you stop just shy of the base. And that way, if the ball drops, you got a better chance of scoring. And then you don't have to deal with that retouch rule.
Strike one on Sanchez. He lined out to first base last time up. He is 0 for 2. Gary Darling's the umpire at second. Grounder goes foul, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. Okay.
You did not, you know, if the ball goes out of play, then you have to take it to the mound, step off, and appeal it that way. The ball never went out of play.
This little roller will dribble toward foul ground, but it's hugging the line, and it's not going to go foul. It's an infield hit for Sanchez. Well, he came into this game hitting .395. A lot of things going well, and that hit went very well for him.
Well, he would tell you that the baseball gods owed him that one after his last at bat when he really stung the ball but lined out to first base. Rare does that ball not go foul, though. It hit a little divot right there, a little clod of dirt. It was starting to drift foul. And on hell, look at this right here. Boom. Perfectly placed dirt clod.
Maybe Dave Clark put that down.
See, if this were curling, somebody would have been out there with a broom sweeping that clean, and it would have been a foul ball.
Hunter Pence 0 for 2 on his birthday. Fly ball and a strikeout. Rolls one to the right side. Barney gobbles it up and throws to first. Bourne to third, Sanchez to second. Pence retired, 1 out.
Well, I need a base hit right here. Down 6. Bottom of the 6. Cleanup hitter up. This is time to cash in.
Carlos Lee would love to oblige. He's 0 for 2.
Carlos Lee has very good numbers against Carlos Zambrano.
Ground ball hit through the left side. Scoring Bourne. Stop sign at third. And it's 6-1 on the RBI single by El Caballo. His 7th run batted in. Sanchez to third.
Yeah, fire it up, guys. Young people are so full of optimism, aren't they?
Energy. Bourne comes home to score his 11th run of this season. This is game number 12.
Base hit to left field like that. A third base coach likes to come down the line as far as possible to give his runner a chance to make a big turn. But when the ball's hit to left, especially in this park, you got to throw up a quicker stop sign because too big of a turn and you put that base runner in jeopardy.
Wallace looks at ball 1. He walked in the second, was thrown out trying to score on a double by Downs, and then struck out looking in the 4th. Yankees 7, Orioles 4, top of the 8th inning at Yankee Stadium. How was that not a strike?
It was. Oh. I was really taking it.
Oh, went up on the board as ball 2. Okay, we're hearing 1-1. All right. And a foul ball makes it count 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And Paul Emmel's got he's got a quick strike call. That right arm, he just kind of flips it out there real quick.
Okay. That double play to end the top of the 6th inning ruled 7-6-4 on Castro at second on the fly ball to left by Barney. So Carlos Lee picks up an outfield assist. Two balls and 2 strikes. Yankees have homers from A-Rod and Jorge Posada, each his 4th of the year. Brian Robertson, Matt Wieters have gone deep for the Orioles. Milwaukee 6, Pittsburgh nothing in the last of the ninth at PNC Park. Prince Fielder hit his third long ball. Fouled away. Still 2-2 to Wallace. Wallace last year at Wrigley Field hit his first career home run. This is the second time he's faced Zambrano.
The rule that applies that I call the Castro is Rule 710B. With the ball in play while advancing or returning to a base, he fails to touch each base in order before he or a missed base is tagged.
It's Colorado 5, the Mets 4. They're in the bottom of the 8th at Citi Field in New York. Troy Tulowitzki has 5 homers now, and Ryan Spilborgh's hit his first of the year. Rockies are 7-2. Wallace rolls over on it and fouls it. Still 2-2. Brano's thrown 82 pitches, 50 have been strikes.
High percentage of fastballs, mixing in some sliders here. That was a good one. He just threw Wally. Did a nice job getting a piece to stay alive.
Another foul ball keeps it at 2-2. Wallace facing a guy who had a 9-game winning streak in 06. He's on another 9-game winning streak now to tie his career high. Trying to beat the Astros for the 15th time. 117 major league wins for Carlos Zambrano. Inside, ball 3.
Good long battle here. Zambrano, that's the shot he wanted early in the game against Wallace. Couldn't get called from Emil. And so by laying off those pitches, hopefully Brett has coaxed Zambrano into a situation where he's able to, or willing to throw that ball over more of the plate.
This will be the 10th pitch to Wallace in this sequence. Wallace lines it to left center field. That'll score Sanchez, make it 6-2. And here's Carlos Lee going to third on the line drive RBI single. 6-game hitting streak for Wallace. RBI number 6. Terrific at bat for Brett Wallace there.
Yeah, and he did get a fastball out over the plate a little bit. It was up. He was able to hit it on a line out there to left center field. Carlos able to make his way to third base. Good play here by Bird, getting that ball into second, keeping that back runner out of scoring position.
6 hits for the Astros, 3 in this inning. Bill Hall got a hit in the 5th. He's 1 for 2. Takes the slider, ball 1. Zambrano has been an all-star in 04, 06, and 08. It's 2-0 to Hall. He has piled up the innings. Catcher Soto talking things over.
This is what we were talking about earlier with Zambrano. Very volatile personality, and things have been going his way all night long. Now under a little duress, if you can see the emotion starting to bubble to the top.
Yes.
Pitcher coach Mark Riggins out. Try to calm things down. Zambrano a little frustrated with the way this inning is progressing and not happy with the strike zone of Paul Emil.
Zambrano appeared to be in no mood to hear what Soto was telling him as they walked toward the mound. Now Riggins has stayed long enough to slow him down. That's probably the objective of Riggins. Stay out there long enough so that he can cool off a little bit because he looked pretty heated.
We talk about all the work that these coaches do and breaking down video and scouting and all that, but maybe the most important thing for a pitching coach is the psychology of it, just working with the personalities.
Very much so. 2 balls, no strikes. In the air to shallow right field. Second baseman Barney cuts over in front of Colvin, and it drops as a hit, but they got to play at second now, and they get the force out. Wallace had gone back to first. The Astros get a run home as Lee scores. So the 3rd run of the inning scoring, and it won't be a hit, I don't think, because there's a force out at second.
Play, fielder's choice for Hall. I'm not sure what Brett saw. He should have stayed with his play a little longer. You can't get too far out there, but maybe just because I think Barney screened him, and he couldn't tell whether that ball was caught or not. That was a goofy play. Coleman should have come on and caught this ball anyway. He left the second baseman twisting in the wind on that one. That's the right fielder's ball.
So Hall does not get a hit, but he does get an RBI, his 4th of the year. And now it's Downs.
Coleman somewhat tentative going after that ball, more than willing to let Barney try to make an unbelievable play from second base. And Coleman, not only is he the better option to catch a ball, but he's coming towards the play. So if there's a tag, he's going to make that throw home a lot better than the second baseman running towards the outfield. This play's got both managers scratching their head.
Yeah.
And Quaddy's over there going, "What's my right fielder doing?" Brad Mills is thinking, "What's my base runner doing?" What is going on?
I think you're right, though. He was screened by Barney. In the dirt, good pick by Soto. It's 2-1. So now Zambrano continues to fight things. He's given up 6 hits and 3 runs in 5 2/3. Pitch count up to 91. He's gotten behind the last 3 hitters. And misses there for a 3-1 count on Downs.
There's a little pop fly off the bat of Billy Hall, and you're going to see what Wallace is contending with as he shuffles off, trying to read this ball, and Barney essentially screening him. You can't tell whether it's caught or not. But you can see on both those replays we showed how tentative Colvin was coming in on the ball.
Yeah. Talk about it there as lefty Sean Marshall and right-hander Marcus Mateo warm up in the Cubs bullpen. Clint Barmas there talking with Wallace. It's a real dilemma for a base runner to play like that. High drive. This has got some thunder to it. Matt Downs unloads one to long left center field for a 2-run homer. Matt Downs hits home run number 1 as an Astro, and the Astros have come roaring back with a 5 spot of their own here in the 6th. It is 6-5.
Wow, how about that? Downs doubled back in the 2nd. Talked about the good swings he's been having despite limited opportunities, and he gets that low fastball and crunches it.
Right on to home run alley.
Yes, you did. He's jacked up.
That ball went to J.R. Tolles. Great moment for Matt Downs. He has delivered 2 extra base hits tonight, filling in for Chris Johnson. He's made some things happen at the plate this year.
He does not have a lot of big league experience, very little big league experience, but he showed good power in the minor leagues.
Now it's 3-0 to J.R. 2-1 rather. Just didn't like that call too much. Jason Michaels is on deck. Pitcher spot due up next.
So it's just time to be aggressive now because he's a wounded duck out there in the mound right now. He's laboring. He's just trying to get this inning over with.
And it's ball 4.
He's done.
390-foot homer by Downs, followed by a walk. Downs now 2 for 3 tonight. He is 5 for 12 this season with a homer and 5 runs batted in, 2 doubles. Here's the pop in his bat. Mike Quaddy coming out. Jason Michaels will be next. But here's what just happened to make it 6-5. Six to nothing is now 6-5. Carlos Zambrano threw 32 pitches in the 6th inning, facing 8 men in that frame, and yielding to Marcos Mateo, who was very impressive last night, striking out the side in his 1 inning to get his ERA down to 2.08.
Yeah, I would suspect that over time you're going to hear more and more about Marcos Mateo as long as he stays healthy. It looks like he's going to take on a pretty important role in this Cub bullpen. He has got nasty stuff. Saw him at the 95, 96 miles an hour with the fastball with outstanding movement. And a good hard slider with depth, good downer to complement it. This guy's a big time arm.
Jason Michaels is the pinch hitter for Fernando Abad, who in 1 inning allowed 2 hits, 1 run, with no walks, no strikeouts. Michaels is 0 for 4 as a pinch hitter. Last night he was in the starting lineup, and he struck out looking against Mateo in the 7th inning. This one in the air and near the left field line. Castro cuts over toward foul territory. Now it's back, and it is a foul ball for out number 3. But the Astros put up a 5 spot, just as the Cubs did in the first. 2 coming on a Matt Downs homer. 6-5 Cubs.
Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Mario Del Rosario, and to tell you about it, up to the booth, Bill Brown and Jim DeShays.
Well, thank you, JD is going to come back here in just a moment, Greg, but we'll tell you what he said earlier. And Mario Del Rosario has no decisions, a 3.18 ERA. Remember when he said might be the 5th run that beat you and maybe the 6th run that beat you? Well, now it's 6-5, and he was somewhat prophetic, but we have 3 innings to go yet. Del Rosario pitched Monday night in the 5-4 loss, 1 hitless inning. He survived a couple of walks. And this crowd has been energized and now is standing for the exit of former President Bush and Barbara. And they've been to several home games already on this initial homestand of the year.
Don't leave now.
No.
It just got exciting.
Well, maybe they've got an early morning plan, but they saw quite a comeback by the Astros there. Batting around in the 6th inning and putting together 5 runs on 4 hits. Now the Cubs in the 7th against Del Rosario. Bird, Ramirez, and Baker do up. Marlon Bird is 0 for 3. Working on a 9-game hitting streak.
Well, big opportunity here for Del Rosario to impress. And a lot of pressure on these relievers. He's coming to this game with your offense battles back the way they did. You don't want to be the guy who gives it up and lets the Cubs push their lead a little bit.
Strike for Del Rosario.
With that in mind, the tip of the cap to Wandy for hanging in there the way he did. If that 3rd inning unraveled on him, Cubs might have 8 runs on the board.
Rip foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, you mentioned that at the time. And the Cubs had the bases loaded, nobody out. Wandy got the double play ball in Soriano, struck out Colvin, and turned the corner on that. Now pitcher number 3 of the night, Del Rosario, wants to keep the Cubs at 6 runs and 11 hits. The Astros have 5 runs on 7 hits.
Has to be heartening for the Astros starters to see the way this club has been swinging the bats lately. To know that you can go out there and not have your best outing and still have a chance to hang in there and win a ball game.
True. Swing and a miss there. Bird striking out. Del Rosario getting him. Now Aramis Ramirez. Ramirez is 2 for 3.
Got that low 3/4 arm angle, slings that breaking ball up there, and Bird can't stay back on it.
That one runs in for ball 1 at 90 miles per hour. The Astros, like so many teams, putting together some new pieces to their bullpen in the early days of 2011. And Del Rosario has shown that he could be a very important piece of that pen. The Astros got him on trade waivers last September from Cincinnati. This one out into right center field brings Hunter Pence over, and he's calling. 2 outs. Carlos Zambrano in 5 2/3 innings allowed 7 hits, 5 runs, walking 3 and fanning 4. And now it's Baker, and the margin of difference in this game, the Zambrano 6th inning homer. Baker drove in 2 with a double in the 1st. He's 2 for 3 in this game. Showing bunt, taking strike 1.
That inning started with a walk to Michael Bourne and then a little roller right down the 3rd baseline by Angel Sanchez for an infield hit. And then the Astros took off from there.
Yeah, how often do those little things like that lead to big innings? That ball staying on the line, hitting that clod of dirt.
Yeah, it's the most valuable dirt clod of the year.
Bouncer, and Sanchez moves to his left. Quick release to Wallace. In the 7th inning, Del Rosario keeps the score on 9 pitches at 6-5 Cubs. top of the first inning. The Astros storm back with a 5-run sixth as they batted around. And now we go to the last of the 7th inning. The fans have enjoyed their stretch, and the Cubs have enjoyed the work of Sean Marshall last year and so far this year. 1-0 with a 1.80 ERA for the big lefty.
He's turned into one of the better setup men in the league. He's a nice curveball. Big tall guy, about 6'6", 6'7", gets good leverage out of that big frame, able to get that ball going downhill as it gets into the hitting zone.
Michael Bourne takes strike one. 20,907 to pay to tennis.
Looks like Mike Quaddy's intention is here to finish this game with Marshall and Marmol. He likes to, is more than willing to use Marmol in the 8th. Doesn't use him exclusively as a 9th inning guy, so he may ask Marshall to get 4 or 5 outs. He may ask Marmol to get 4 or 5 outs.
Marshall struck out Bourne Monday night on breaking stuff.
One-run game. Michael Bourne such a weapon late with his speed, so you want that lefty on the hill to try to nullify him both in the batter's box, and if he does get on, tougher to steal a base with the lefty out there.
Mark Melanson warms up for Houston. It's 2-2. Marshall, a key man in this Cubs bullpen picture. He's had a hold in each of his last 3 appearances. Lefty's hitting .235 for a career against him. And again, breaking stuff, getting Bourne 1 out. Our Coors Light Freeze Cam will show you the clod of dirt on the Angel Sanchez infield hit. The Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by the Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Got to repair those divots.
And now Angel comes up. He's 1 for 3 in this game.
Police your area.
Strike one for Marshall. Marshall, the 6th round choice of the Cubs in 03. Worked 80 times last year.
Such good command of that curveball.
Yeah.
And he throws it hard or soft. He can backdoor it. Really soften it up and catch you way out in front.
Backhanded. Castro with a throw. Gets him. 2 outs. Strong arm shortstop.
Saw that on display early in the game when he threw Wallace out at home on the relay. And now on the backhand side, a little bobble, but his arm makes up for it. Just barely catching Angel at first base.
Oh, was that close?
Yeah, reminiscent of Sean Dunston out there.
Rob Drake with a call. Exmo with a replay. Now Hunter Pence rolls one. Castro, difficult play here. Quick throw to first, and he does it again. Back-to-back sparkling plays by Castro. Get Marshall through the 7th inning, and the Cubs hang on to a 6-5 lead.
Up, you know, we got something else coming up for you that's you might want to jot down. You can bring your dog out to Minute Maid Park this Sunday. It's a dog day presented by HEB. The Astros will take on the Pirates at 1:05. Dog day tickets include a bullpen box seat for you and your pooch and the Pooch Parade and Costume Contest. Visit Astros.com/dog day tonight. That's always a lot of fun, and I'm always so close to being tempted, but I'm working.
Well, you could arrange to have your dog here.
Well, I know. I could make my wife bring her.
That would be an interesting feature if you would give us that.
I remember Chris Welch of the Reds, one of their broadcasters. I remember when they had one. He was parading around on the field.
Oh. Mark Melanson comes in with an ERA of 0. That's a very nice start to the season.
Yeah, 0 is good. It's really, really good. And can't do much better than that. 5 innings, 5 punch-outs, no walks.
No. Well, he was among those invited to lunch. Former President Bush and Barbara today. So a special day for Mark and some of his teammates. He faces Giovanni Soto here, who's 2 for 2 with a walk. That's foul for strike 1. A good quick 7th inning for Del Rosario included a strikeout in a 1-2-3 frame. And Melanson is pitcher number 4 for the Astros tonight. By the way, we forgot to pass along a note about the sacrifice bunt by Wandy Rodriguez in the 3rd inning. He tied JD on the all-time list for 12th place on the sacrifice bunt list.
He's going to zoom by me the next time he gets a sack. I have to do a ceremony down on the field.
That could be interesting. Would you present him with a burlap sack, or what would you do? 1 and 2.
Who keeps track of that? Who's the all-time sack leader?
I don't know, but we'll find out from Sally Gunter. She keeps track of the sacrifice bunts. We have a lot of specialists in the media relations department. Who would you think the all-time sacrifice bunt leader would be?
Somebody that played there a good long while.
Okay. Let's see. Could be Joe Niekro.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Joe Niekro.
He's the all-time wins leader.
Yeah. Ground ball 3rd. Off the chest as it comes up with Downs. He scrambles and makes an accurate throw. He stayed with that one. That one got a piece of him.
He too showing a strong arm. Big high hop, hangs in there, takes it off the chest, and then scrambles to recover.
Played that one like Pepper Martin. Got his chest in front of it. Now Soriano. Soriano ripped a 3-run homer in the 1st. He's 1 for 3. There's ball 1. You see on Exmo, he had his body in front of it so he could block it, recover, and still get his man. 2-0.
Yeah, that's why, you know, at third base, the ball gets on you more quickly than, say, at short. So you have more time to recover in balls like that.
Greg Reynolds is the all-time sacrifice bunt.
Yeah.
Drive over 3rd.
Terry Poole gets on, Craig bunts him over, kind of thing.
Wonder who it is for a pitcher, though. Yeah, that's the way they played baseball back in the late 70s, early 80s in the Astrodome. TP would get on, Craig would bunt him over. Somebody deliver him on a fly ball, and they'd make that 1-run hold up for a long time. Bad swing there by Soriano, so Melanson will file away what happened on that curveball in the dirt.
This is a nasty curveball. Look at the break on that thing. I would pick. I'd take a couple more shots, way up with the heater or down in the dirt with the curveball.
Another curve, swing and foul ball. Josh Hamilton predictably has apologized for his remarks following that injury yesterday about third base coach Dave Anderson. He was injured sliding headfirst trying to tag up on a short pop fly. And so he said he had to take responsibility for what happened. Interesting. He says in his quote here, "I know I had a choice not to go, and I chose to go. But yesterday he said the coach told me to go, and I knew it wasn't the right thing, but I went anyway."
Yeah, and I saw comments today that made it sound like Anderson was just telling him nobody's at home, kind of letting him know what the situation was.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. And I can understand his frustration of getting hurt again and being out for a long time.
Absolutely. Good curve there for a strikeout for Melanson, so he did go back to that deuce.
Yeah, and normally, you know, this is good pitching because normally after that many curveballs, you'd say, okay, it's time to come off of it. But he was just convinced that Soriano was going to continue to chase it, so just kept throwing it until he finally threw one he was going to miss.
Blake DeWitt is on deck. Left-handed hitter as Colvin bats. Colvin has struck out twice. A fly ball to center. Pitcher spot due up next. And it's ball one. For the Astros in the last of the eighth, Lee, Wallace, and Hall are due up. Cubs have the edge in hits tonight, 11-7. No errors in the game. It's 2 balls, no strikes.
Feels like the Astros are winning this game. You know, the Cubs put that 5 spot up early, had a chance to put it away, and did not. And then the Astros had their big 5-run inning, and kind of forget that the Astros are still trailing in this ball game.
Well, you know, you mentioned it earlier, but the fact that on Monday night the Astros got 3 in the 7th inning when they trailed and came back to lose 5-4, and then the 4-run inning last night in the 8th when they were pouring it on. Now 5 runs in the 6th tonight. Gives a pitcher the feeling that, hey, this team might come back, you know, much more so than in the early stages of the season last year. Anyway, 3 balls and a strike. Each team kind of takes on its own character as we get deeper into the season. 3 balls, 2 strikes. But those late inning comebacks really can keep confidence going for a team. If it has happened several times before, that it may happen again on any given night. Cleveland and the Angels are in the 12th, tied 3-3. Oh, another curve works for Melanson. He has an outstanding inning with 2 strikeouts, and that keeps it at 6-5 Cubs going to the bottom of the 8th. facing Carlos Lee. Strike one. Lee had the RBI single in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. Sean Marshall had a 1-2-3 7th inning with a strikeout. Lee is 11 for 26, 423 against Wood with a homer. And Wood gave up a homer in his last outing and took the loss Sunday, 6-5 in Milwaukee. And he walked the leadoff man before that 2-run homer. Wilton Lopez is warming up for Houston. That was a 2-run pinch homer to Casey McGee in the bottom of the 8th. This one goes to left center field. Marlon Byrd playing very deep at the warning track. A long out, number 1.
Didn't miss that one by much. Just had to reach for it a little bit.
Fred Wallace singled in a run in the 6th.
A little bit out in front.
Wallace has walked and struck out as well. And there's ball 1 from Wood. Yeah, that no-hitter you talked about, or the one-hitter against the Astros, was one of the most powerful games ever pitched. Statisticians have gone over and over the 20 strikeout game for Wood. Only an infield hit. And that might have been ruled differently by another scorer. 2 balls, no strikes. Just a phenomenal game for Wood that day at Wrigley Field.
From about 97 miles an hour with a slider that was breaking 3 feet.
Off the foot of Wallace. Rolls out the first.
Big part of the Kerry Wood story, of course, injuries. Had a lot of problems over the years with his arm. When healthy, he was lights out.
Oh, right off the right shin bone. Kerry Wood was 13-6 in that '98 season, Rookie of the Year. He's up with that pitch at 3-1. He struck out 233 in 166 innings in his rookie year. He's from Irving, Texas. Went to Grand Prairie High School. He was a first-round pick of the Cubs in '95. High drive to right field. He's got some serious hang time. Reed Johnson, 2 outs.
That's 2 just misses.
Yep.
Kerry Wood would tell you that's all right. You can make a lot of money making them just miss.
Bill Hall, as you see that swing, will be next. Wood did not walk anybody in that one-hitter against the Astros at Chicago in '98. Hall has a hit and an RBI tonight. That was Kerry's 5th major league start. He was 20 years old. Strike 1. Well, now recast as a reliever, usually a 1-inning guy in this type role. 8th inning, tight ball game, setting it up for Carlos Marmol.
Breakdown on Hall versus Wood, 4 out of 16 with a couple of long ones. Outfield is very deep, playing no doubles.
Ball comes up high and it's 1-1. Wood hadn't faced the Astros since the '08 season. He joined the Indians in '09. Last time he pitched against the Astros was in Chicago, and he lost in the 11th inning, giving up 2 runs in 2 innings. Jeff Blum hit a 2-run homer off him in the 11th. 1-2.
See the frustration from Hall. He had a pitch to hit there, just didn't square it up.
Wilton Lopez now has been joined by Brandon Lyon in the Houston bullpen. Wood is 5-8 in his career against the Astros. His ERA is 4.17. It's 2-2. Lyon and Lopez work for Houston. Cubs do have Reed Johnson in the 9 spot in the lineup. He will lead off the ninth, followed by Castro and Barney. Wood is in the 8 spot with Holden leaving the game. Now it's a full count for Bill Hall.
Ball taking some time to try to assess the situation and get inside of Wood's head. What's he going to come at me with here?
Hall hit a pinch homer on Monday night off the right field foul pole. He swings at Wood's pitch and strikes out to end the 8th inning. Moving to the 9th, Cubs 6, Astros 5. In the 6th, 6-5 Cubs now. No scoring in the 7th or 8th. We look to the 9th inning, and the Astros call upon pitcher number 5 of the night. Right-hander Wilton Lopez will be facing the 9-1-2 hitters for the Cubs.
6th appearance for Wilton this year. 2nd time in this series. He worked in game 1. Pitched the 6th inning. Walked a man, punched out a couple. He faced a couple of guys he's going to see in this inning, Castro and Barney. But first things first, Reed Johnson, the veteran.
Reed comes up to lead it off after entering the game in the double switch, going into play right field. Veteran player has been used off the bench in these roles the last few years of his career. Takes strike 1. Johnson has 1 hit in 9 at-bats this season. In tight to him, and last night Reed was 1 for 2. He came off the bench and got a double in the 8th inning. He'll probably play against some lefties in the outfield this season.
He used to be the world's most interesting man, but he shaved his beard. He's looking a little patch now.
Carlos Marmol, the closer for the Cubs, is warming up. Lance Berkman hit a grand slam for the Cardinals off Ian Kennedy in Arizona.
Wow. Tearing up the Diamondbacks, my goodness.
Yeah, he's hit 4 homers now in his last 3 games.
9-0. Cardinals lead that game in the 3rd.
Jake Westbrook, the beneficiary of all that run support. Albert Pujols has a hit in that game, and his batting average has climbed to 217. There's the out-of-town scoreboard. San Diego winning at home in the finale of its homestand, beating Cincinnati 3-2, and heading now to Houston to start the 4-game series tomorrow night. Rockies won at New York. Phillies got a complete game from Roy Halladay. What else is new?
Man, it's almost automatic.
Well, let's see. Maybe it wasn't. He was in there in the ninth, but Washington scored a couple of runs. Halladay, the winner, 2-0. As
he went 9.
Okay. 1.23 ERA. Washington got 2 in the bottom of the ninth. But no Brad Lidge right now. So Halladay was his own closer.
You can put Dennis Eckersley in that bullpen as long as Halladay's throwing the ball the way Halladay throws the ball. I'm sitting in the dugout. Go ahead and finish it.
He struck out 9 tonight, and he threw 123 pitches.
Padres with single runs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th to break the Reds' hearts. 3-2 tonight after the Reds scored, what, 6 in the 11th?
Yeah.
Last night to win 8-2.
Yeah, the Padres had the bases loaded, I think, in the 9th and 10th. Carlos Marmol warming up there.
Maybe the worst news of the night.
Well, you pointed out last night when Marmol had to throw a lot of pitches at Monday night, rather, that maybe that would have an effect, but then he didn't have to work last night. 10 pitches coming up to this batter with the next one. So Marmol threw 31 pitches Monday night, but he's had a day off since then. And he was brought in the 8th inning, so he worked to 6 batters.
And he up one, but you see he wasn't throwing when we had that shot of him. That's what a reliever will do. He'll get up and he'll monitor the inning to see how it's progressing. He only has so many bullets, and he knows he's got plenty of time with his lengthy at bat. Still no outs in the inning. The idea is to take exactly what you need out there. That plus the work you get when you hit the mound for your warm-ups.
Pop up. Sanchez coming in and calling. Johnson's retired, 1 out. Well, the Cubs have gone down ever since that Castro hit in the 6th inning. 8 in a row have been set down by Astros relievers.
On the, if the manager had a confidence-ometer for his bullpen guys, I would imagine that Mark Melancey's running pretty high right now. The way he's been throwing the ball.
Well, there's some nice options for Brad Mills. Starlin Castro is 2 for 4. Looking at ball 1. Darwin Barney's on deck. Josh Johnson of Florida beat Atlanta and Tim Hudson 5-1. Johnson's 2-0. Logan Morrison hit his 3rd homer. That's a strike. Chipper Jones hit number 1 for the Braves. Josh Johnson gave up 1 hit and no runs in 7 1/3 innings, striking out 9. He won the ERA title last year. 2 balls and a strike. Interesting article today in Sports Weekly, which comes out on Wednesdays, about the increased emphasis on speed in baseball and how, pitching is very dominant. So each base is more precious.
Well, we've been talking about this for a couple of years now with the downsizing of the players. Guys not quite as big and beefy as they were, and balls not flying out of ballparks. The game becomes a little bit different. Looking for a little more speed and athleticism, both in the batter's box and in the field. I think it's a more entertaining game, to tell you the truth.
Absolutely. When each base gets precious like this, it puts more emphasis on every single play. On a stolen base or advancing a runner, going 1st to 3rd on a single, as Mike Quade well knows. 3-2. Ground ball through the left side. Castro gets his third hit of the night.
Youngest player in the major leagues. He's looking like an all-star to me. He's a good-looking player.
21 hits already this season for Castro. He's aboard with the 12th hit for the Cubs tonight. The Astros have 7. Darwin Barning has one of those hits, a single and a walk. Castro is 8 for 15 in this series. Next series between these two will be at Wrigley Field in late May. Cubs don't come back here until August. And they have 2 trips to Houston this year.
Important to throw strike one here with Castro, a base stealer down there at first base. You want to keep the count favorable to the pitcher to help defend against a stolen base, because if you go 1-0, 2-1, 2-0, the options of pitching out are, you really don't want to do it. Put your pitcher in a hole. So it's so important to throw strike one.
Runner going. Throw from Tolles, bouncing, safe at second. A steal for Castro, his second of the season. He has both of the Cubs' stolen bases this season.
Yeah, I don't suspect the Cubs will steal a lot of bases this year. Castro might, but beyond that, I'm not so sure who's going to steal bags for them. Maybe Barney a little bit.
Well, they went the first 9 games of the season without a steal. They hadn't done that since 1941.
Yeah, 41 club, they couldn't run a lick. Hack Wilson, you kidding me? It was built like a tree trunk.
2 balls and a strike. Marlon Byrd's on deck. Cubs led 5-0 after 1/2 inning. Lopez gets a call, and it's 2-2. Lopez had a little neuritis in his right elbow a few days ago, but has thrown well since then. Alberto Arias continues to throw in Florida, hoping to work his way back to the Astros this season. He had a session with live hitters, and Jeff Keppinger took some batting practice. Keppinger hoping to come back sometime in May from surgery to remove a bone from his foot. Lined over shortstop into left center field, and the Cubs will get run number 7 home. A throw into second base, relayed, not in time. Barney drives in the 7th run for the Cubs, giving them a 2-run lead here in the 9th inning.
Ouch. Yeah, coming back on Marmol is a challenge. Down a run, down 2, it is very difficult, and you got another man in scoring position. Ball moving in on Barney. It's solid line drive, single to center, and then, or double rather, Michael goes towards the alley to cut it off. Barney takes advantage and picks up a 2-bagger.
Belly flop into second base. That's his first double of the year. Now Marlon Byrd, his 9-game hitting streak's on the line. There's strike 1.
By the way, Hack Wilson played from 1923 to 1934, so he wasn't on that 41 club.
No. Hank Sauer might have been. No, that was before Hank Sauer. Marlon Byrd has 49 hits the last 2 Aprils combined. 1 ball, 1 strike. Next pitch will be the 25th of this inning for Wilton Lopez. Cubs with 7 runs on 13 hits now. Slow roller brings in Lopez. Bare hands and throws wildly. And now another run will score to make it 8-5 Cubs. And watch Bird go all the way to third base. Hunter Pence with the throw, cut off. Well, Lopez just fired that ball, and Wallace might have gotten the tip of his mitt on it, but it got by him and went up the right field line.
That's that play we were talking about with Jeff Bagwell on Saturday night. Baggy said when he was playing first base, he wouldn't reach in on a play like this for fear of getting his arm broken. Kind of lived to fight another day.
Yeah. Well, that put him right in harm's way.
Yeah, Wally hung in there, tried to stay with it. This ball running away from him. Had a little more time than he realized, but that's a tough play when you're coming off the mound full speed. Probably never got a real good handle on the ball to begin with.
It is a throwing error on Wilton Lopez. Barney comes around to score, and it's 8-5. Brad Arnsberg out for a visit. Anuri Rodriguez is warming up now for the Astros.
Well, and it'd be interesting to see if the Cubs get somebody else up. If they score another run, the save opportunity is gone. Right now, it looks like just Marmol out there in the pen.
Infield in with one out, runner at third. And that makes it 9-5. RBI single. Aramis Ramirez, his third hit of the night. Scores Bird. That's RBI number 6 of the season for Ramirez.
Nothing new to see Ramirez do damage against the Astros.
No, it's not. That's 122 career runs batted in for him against Houston.
He may be the current leader of the pack in the public enemy number 1 here in Houston. I guess you'd have to put Albert there at the top.
Yeah, most people would do that. J.R. Tolles goes out on this rough inning for Wilton Lopez. He got the first man, Johnson, then Castro singled. Barney RBI double.
His stuff just doesn't look as crisp as it normally does. The ball just doesn't have that good bite on it.
And he was a key man for the Astros, setting up Brandon Lyon last year. Cubs are 4 for 7 with runners in scoring position, and they lead it 9-5. Now 9-5. The Cubs taking advantage of this opening here in the 9th inning. Had a 1-run lead. Now they boosted that to 4. Carlos Marmol has warmed up in their bullpen. He's just watching now as Anuri Rodriguez takes the ball for Houston. He'll be pitcher number 6. And with that high ERA, a chance for this rookie to come in after being taken in the Rule 5 draft and put together a stop-it type of an inning.
Yeah, it's kind of gotten away here. Wilton having his struggles. Anrod worked an inning last night, allowed a couple hits and a run, a walk, and a strikeout.
Well, he's allowed runs in 4 of his 5 outings. The only one in which he did not was the one in which he was ejected. Jeff Baker is 2 for 4. Drove in 2 with a double in the 5-run Cubs first. There's strike one.
Padres might get here before this inning ends.
Oh, they were quite a story last year, weren't they?
Boarding their plane by now.
Well, they have Dustin Mosley to go tomorrow night against Bud Norris at 7:05. It's 1-1.
Chad Qualls is now a San Diego Padre.
Yeah. They've had a fair turnover since last season, considering the team they had was a very good one. They made that trade with Florida, dealing a couple of pitchers for center fielder Cameron Maben. Boy, they were shocking the world last year. Fly ball deep center field. Michael Bourne catches up with it at the edge of the warning track. 2 down.
Yeah, it was just about the time when people finally said, you know what, these Padres are for real. And then what, they dropped like 10 in a row at the end of the season. Yeah. Still, they did. They played remarkable baseball, given expectations.
Tough night for Wilton Lopez. Giovanni Soto is the 7th Cub to bat in the inning. He has 2 hits and a walk. And there's strike one for Nuri Rodriguez. Giants lead the Dodgers 2-0 after 2 in San Francisco. Swing and a miss makes it 0-2 for Soto. And that Giant Dodger rivalry has been a classic one over the years. Right now, the Dodgers are 6-5. The Giants are 5-6. Tim Lincecum threw a lot of pitches last night. Didn't make it through 6 innings. Left with the lead, but got a no decision. It's 1-2 for Nuri Rodriguez. Heath Bell was a winner for the Padres, beating Nick Massett when the Padres got those runs you talked about. Picket fence, 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th. Massett is 0-3 with a 9.95 ERA for Dusty Baker. Reds are 8-4. Padres 5-6. Fly ball outside the line, and that will go back into the seats.
Well, Heath Bell worked last night as well as tonight, so maybe he'll have a night off tomorrow.
Maybe so. Nick Hundley has gotten off to a nice start for that San Diego team. He was hitting .387 before the game today. He's one of the big threats for Bud Black coming into Houston tomorrow night. Orlando Hudson's off to a nice start at .324 as well. Pop up goes foul. Brett Wallace coming over. And he will go back for the catch. The Cubs come up with 3 in the 9th inning. On 3 hits with an error, they leave a man, and they lead it now 9-5. to go for Carlos Marmol, but he had warmed up and he is coming in. Carlos Pena is another player who just entered the game for the Cubs. He is the first baseman, replacing Jeff Baker there. Baker had a good night, going 2 for 5, driving in 2, scoring a run. And Marmol is one of the toughest to hit in Major League Baseball. He has 4 saves in 5 opportunities and a 3.38 ERA.
This is kind of like hunting rabbits with an elephant gun, isn't it? Using Marmol here with this 4-run lead, but when he got up, it was a 1-run ball game. So he got hot, was ready to go, and as that inning developed, Quaddy said, well, might as well just run him out there and let him finish his ball game. They're a little short in their bullpen these days anyway.
And they have a day off tomorrow. Matt Downs has the distinguished pleasure of facing Mr. Marmol, leading off the home 9th inning. He ripped a 2-run homer in the 6th and had a double in the 2nd inning.
A lot of times you see relievers struggle in situations like this when they're used to coming in and pitching in tight games with a save on the line. They do quite well, but give them in a little bit of a lopsided game and they struggle. And I think a lot of that has to do with the psyche of the hitter more so than the approach of the pitcher. Get up there against a guy like Marmol in a 1-run game and you start grinding. I got to get a hit. I got to get a hit. You kind of get out of your game plan a little bit as opposed to just see the ball and react to it.
How about those numbers for 36 games? And that includes a start in which he gave up several runs. So really he's been more impressive than those illustrious numbers as a reliever against the Astros. It's very, very difficult, especially for right-handed batters.
You can see why with that drop down delivery. Nice night from Matt Downs, though. Double and a home run. Astros still looking for their first series win of 2011. They're going to have to pull a rabbit out of their hat tonight to make that happen.
Wouldn't that be a story? They cut it down to 1 run with a 5-run 6th. Foul ball there. Keeps Downs alive at 3-2.
Blooper blast, a walk, a knock, 3-run jack, and everybody's jumping up and down going, how did that happen? Unbelievable.
You know what's going to happen somewhere in baseball this year to one of the top closers around. Well, there's a leadoff walk. Boy, Downs has put something else tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really has played a nice game.
This man has pitched a scoreless ball 32 of his last 33 outings against the Astros, 8 in a row. J.R. Tolles singled, struck out, and he walked. Jason Bourgeois is on deck. Pitcher spot is due up next for the Astros. Downs not being held on by Carlos Pena. J.R. looks at strike 1. Marmol has recorded a save in each of his last 3 appearances. He gave up 1 hit in 1 1/3 innings Monday night.
Make a play, Brownie.
Oh, it's right here. It's right here below us. Well, that was close. Oh, look, he got it. Did he catch it on the fly?
No, he played it off the wall down here.
That's smart. Smart baseball for that Tiger fan.
It's a little misplaced by a couple thousand miles.
Here's the play by Al Kaline.
There he is. See, he held his ground and he read it. He didn't overreact. He read it and then reacted.
That's a veteran fan right there.
Yeah. Knows how to play the wall. Like Carl Yastrzemski.
Is he keeping score? Jason Bourgeois.
Yep. Got a scorecard. Working some seeds or some peanuts.
Staying in the game. That's impressive.
Yeah. Went ahead of me.
Bourgeois takes that one. And Jason makes it a 2-0 count. Jason's one of the players who will be going out on Jackie Robinson Day on Friday into the various schools. He is 4 for 10 with an RBI.
Who are you going with, Brownie?
I'm going with him.
Oh, okay. Where are you guys going?
We're going down to Sugarland, somewhere in that vicinity anyway, to an honor roll school. And we got a chance to read the essay from the young girl who's 8 or 9 years old today. And it was spectacular.
Wow.
It's going to be fun to meet her. How about you?
I'm going with Bill Hall, and we are going to, I believe it's C.E. King Middle School. The theme of the program is breaking barriers.
Yeah.
Talking about Jackie Robinson, what he had to overcome.
He really did. Fly ball on the infield. Darwin Barney handles that one, 2 outs. Jackie Robinson, a great story for the youngsters to digest. And Bob Espromonte, member of the original Colt 45s, was a teammate of Jackie Robinson on the Brooklyn Dodgers. Jackie gave him a glove one time. Michael Bourne is 0 for 3 with a walk and has scored a run. Astros down to their last out now, trailing by 4. Ball 1 to Michael. There were 2 men on base against Marmol Monday when Carlos got Joe Inglet to end it. 1 ball and 1 strike. At the end of Jackie Robinson's career, the Dodgers traded him to the Giants. You talk about rivalries. They were such hated rivals. He just retired rather than play for the Giants. 1-2. Cubs had won 6 straight road series before they lost 2 of 3 last weekend at Milwaukee. And the Astros, if they don't rescue this one, will be 2-4 on this homestand with 4 games remaining with San Diego starting tomorrow night. Nelson Figueroa takes care of a fan up there with a souvenir. He'll be pitching Saturday night here at 6:05. It's 2-2. Matt Latos made a good start. Well, so-so start as he came back from the disabled list, and he will be paired with Nelson on Saturday night. Sunday, it's Brett Myers and Clayton Richard at 1:05. It's 3-2. Cubs trying to square their record at 6-6. Reds lost earlier, so the Cubs can move to 1 game closer to Cincinnati if they win this one. Reds lead the division with an 8-4 record right now. Fly ball to right center field. Marlon Byrd's digging for it. Reed Johnson coming, and Byrd gets there. And in the 9th inning for the Astros, it's no runs, no hits, and a man stranded. They made it close with a 5-run 6th, but then Mike Quaddy's club added a 3-run 9th to win it. Final score: Cubs 9, Astros 5.